You know, when you're hiring a contractor to build a house, you don't just like hand over your life savings because they smiled and said they're a good builder.
Right, definitely not.
You want blueprints, you want a portfolio. Yet in job interviews, we constantly expect companies to hire us based on nothing but hollow adjectives.
Yeah, it's honestly wild how common that is.
It really is. So today's deep dive unpacks a framework from a YouTube Shorts script by creator Venky Speaks that completely flips this dynamic. It's specifically for that notoriously dreaded question, what are your greatest strengths? Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, that question is a total trap for so many people. Because our default instinct is to just, throw out standard buzzwords like the video's candidate one.
Right, things like, I'm hardworking or I'm honest.
Exactly. But what's fascinating here is the underlying psychology of why hiring managers instantly tune that out.
Well, I guess it's because saying I'm hardworking is like telling someone a movie is good without explaining the plot. I mean, it tells you absolutely nothing.
It really doesn't. And more importantly, you're forcing the interviewer to do all the cognitive heavy lifting. You're making them imagine how you are hardworking.
Oh, I see.
And when they're staring at a stack of 50 resumes, they simply aren't going to do that mental work for you. Adjectives aren't differentiators. They're just the absolute baseline expectations for any role.
So you really have to shift from telling to showing, like Candidate 2 does. The framework Venky Speaks lays out to do this relies on a three-part structure.
Yeah, it's strength, proof, and business impact. So for instance, if your strength is problem solving, your proof is that you streamlined a messy internal process.
And the impact is that it saved the team hours every week. But let me push back for a second here.
Sure, yeah. What's on your mind?
Well, if I walk into an interview and rigidly recite, my strength is X, my proof is Y, and my impact is Z, don't I run the risk of sounding like a robotic walking LinkedIn post?
That is a completely fair point. The key isn't to sound like you're reading a script. It's really about shifting the focus of your story.
Okay, so how do you actually pull this off in a casual conversation?
Well, the magic actually happens in that third step, the business impact. A lot of people naturally do steps 1 and 2, right? They'll say, I have great communication skills. I just led a massive client presentation.
Which sounds pretty decent on the surface. I mean, it's better than just the adjective.
It sounds decent, yeah, but it's incomplete. To make it conversational yet powerful, you just follow it through to the result.
Ah, great.
So you say, I'm really strong at communication, which helped me lead our last major client pitch. And because of that clear messaging, we saw a noticeable bump in customer satisfaction.
Oh, wow. And you retained a key account or something like that? You just effortlessly connected your personal trait to their bottom line.
Exactly. You handed them the blueprints. You aren't just claiming to have a skill, you're explaining exactly how that skill makes their life easier or, their company more profitable.
It's just so much more tangible.
It is. If we connect this to the bigger picture, using this specific structure completely changes the power dynamic in the interview room.
Because you stop being a candidate pleading for a job, right?
Right. You become a professional presenting a proven track record. You're speaking the language of business value.
Which I imagine instantly removes the hiring manager's anxiety about whether you can actually do the work.
Precisely, yeah. It takes the guesswork completely out of the equation.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? It means it's time to lock down your own narrative before you ever step foot in an interview room.
Yeah. You really have to do the prep work ahead of time.
We're going to borrow a direct prompt from Venky Speaks here. Ask yourself, what is your biggest strength?
And remember, don't just think of the adjective. You have to build the whole bridge.
Right. So right now, I want you to mentally fill in the blanks of this exact template. My strength is blank.
I proved this when I did blank.
Which resulted in, the business impact.
It takes a few minutes of self-reflection to get that phrasing right, sure. But once you do, it completely insulates you from that sudden wave of interview panic.
Next time you're in the hot seat, don't just say it, show it. Prove your value.
Absolutely. Show them the proof.
Which leaves us with this final thought to mull over. Imagine you walk into an interview tomorrow and you are suddenly banned from using any adjectives to describe yourself.
Oh, that's a tough one. No hardworking, no honest, no innovative.
Exactly. What specific, impactful story would you be forced to tell to prove your worth anyway? Find that story, and you got your blueprint.